there YouTube, Big G back again with another video, and I'm on a few days leave. Yay for me. And I decided I'm going to tackle one of the projects that I've really been wanting to do for quite a while, and that is get one of my Amstrad CPC 464s up and running. Lovely old machines these. I've got two of them, and I've spent about an hour or so with the first one. Absolutely no success, and the second one now I'm a lot more hopeful. So the first part of this project is basically ensuring that I get a good quality picture out of this machine. Now, one of my recent pickups was one of these Amstrad MP1 power supplies. Now, the reason these were brought out is that the Amstrad, like this one, came out with a green screen monitor. So it was sort of an all-in-one unit, which had an advantage because, I mean, it was an all-in-one unit. You had the tape drive, you had the monitor, nothing else you needed. But what if you wanted to connect it to a color TV, which is what I want to do. I actually want to connect it to my flat screen so I can get a good picture out of it. So what did this do? So basically what this did was it had a 5-volt power socket, so you no longer needed to pull power from your monitor. You could run power from this to your CPC. Then it had a, let me just grab it over here, a monitor DIN. It's a 6-pin DIN from the machine, which then plugged into your monitor socket on your CPC. It then read the signal from there, and you could then tune your color TV with the good old RF connector. And I hate these. I hate having to tune. So the first thing I did was I actually went and connected this one up, and guess what? I sort of got a very, very hazy picture. So first impressions is that there may be life in this one, but I can't really see what is happening because I couldn't tune the picture any better, and I don't trust the RF connectors. So I thought, well, let me now convert the signal from the CPC to a composite signal. And there's quite a few guides. I'll put a couple of links down below. There's one specific guide on this that I used, and I'm sure it'll work very, very well. So the first thing to do is to actually disconnect the DIN socket. You don't have to do that, but I don't have another 6-pin. You can see there it's got 6 pins. I don't have another one of these, so I need to use this socket off the actual MP1. So I'm going to scavenge it. I'm going to take it loose, I'm going to unsolder it, and then I'm going to use that and solder that to my SCART so that I can actually use the pinouts from here. Okay, I've removed the cover from the MP1, and I've actually already desoldered it. I actually forgot to take the footage, so sorry. And I've desoldered the 5 little wires. You can see the 5 little holes. There they are there. I've desoldered them from the board, and it was a simple matter of doing that, just unscrewing this screw over here and unhooking the cable which ran through there. You can see the power supply over there. Everything seems to be fine, and there's no need to use this. You can actually discard this now, but I'll leave it in there. There's no need to get rid of it, and in case I ever want to reconnect it up again, I did take a photograph of the pin connections, which I'll put up as well so you can see what they look like before I actually went and desoldered them. So I have now removed this cable from here, which I'm now going to connect to my SCART. Okay, here's the SCART cable I'm going to be using to connect up the 6-pin monitor cable that I've removed from the MP1. I'll just quickly show you how I did that. Now, these sockets are quite very simple. They just clip apart, and then you can remove the innards. And let me just make sure I get this right. Just want to remove that. You can see I've already started soldering it up. There we are. So that's the little metal shield, and there you have the SCART connector. Now, on the SCART connector, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but it is numbered 1 to 20 are the pin sockets. Now basically, if you have a look at the diagram which I've got up there, you'll see how I've actually gone and connected this. Okay, so this runs from, that's pin 1, runs odd numbers at the bottom, can see. Let me just hold it a little bit more carefully there. So odd numbers, the pins are odd numbers at the bottom, even numbers at the top. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through to pin 20. So if you have a look at the diagram, which I have up there on the screen for you, you can see I've got an attached from the CPC DIN. I've got an attached through to, you can see here, that's pin 1, 3, 5. So that's the ground, 5. Then 7, which is blue, that's 7, that's 9, and then 11, which is the green, and then 15, which is just underneath it. You will see it over there. 15, which is red, and then here at the top is where you've got to now put in your power, pin 20 at the end here, which is your sync, as well as next to it you can see I've added in these 2 cables over here because I need to put power through to this SCART plug so that it can tell the TV set that, listen, 5 volts on here, this is actually a composite signal coming in, and it'll then be able to read it correctly. And the red one being on, and remember this being even numbers at the top here, so that's pin 16, which also needs to have a 180 ohm resistor attached to it further on, which I'll show you later. There it is over there, and then the ground, which is on 18. So very simple. Just got my 6-pin. Oh, let me just hold it over there. This is the 6-pin DIN socket, which I've removed from, and let me just see if I can hold it like that for you. There it is over there, and the pins, as you can see on the diagram, there they run, all 6 of them over there. And remember, this is looking at the DIN socket, whereas what you're seeing on the actual screen is looking at the back, which is basically the female socket then of the actual Amstrad. So important to get your wires connected correctly. If you're unsure which ones you've connected, it's always nice then just to use a multimeter just to make sure you've got the correct ones hooked up. So there you can see it. I've hooked up all my wires. Now I can put it back together again. SCART connectors. There we are. And there's a little ridge in there that then allows it to slot into. Well, I get that, and just to make sure that it gets into the, there we are, it's in the little ridge. I haven't loosened any of the wires, and then I can hook it closed on the top. And then if everything is correct, it will then snap back into place. Just want to make sure I don't hurt any of the wires, and with a satisfying click, it's hooked back into place. Everything is closed, SCART connector, and then I can now just screw that back on again. You can also just add a little bit of glue on there if you want to, but it shouldn't be necessary. It should be thick enough to hold it. And like I said, that is the 6-pin socket which I've taken from the MP1, and then I've just added 2 more, which is a positive 5 volt and another ground through to the SCART connector as per the diagram. Okay, you can see I've simply gone and soldered on a ground and to the 5 volt positive so that I can lead that out to my RGB SCART cable in order to give the composite its positive 5 volts, which is required. Now I'm simply going to go and put some glue on here just so that neaten it up a little bit and prevent it from coming loose. Okay, got my little glue gun, and now I'm just going to be applying a little bit of glue around the solder joint, and then just a little bit down here. I'm not too neat with this stuff, but the main idea is just to give it a good ground. Oh, it gets nice and hot. Okay, you can see I've got it soldered in excuse me, a 150 ohm resistor on the positive. It's actually asking, the guide's actually asking for 180 ohm. I'm sure 30 ohms won't make too much of a difference, so let's try it out. And I'm just going to tape it up now. And that's soldered in on the positive 5 volt line leading through to the SCART connector, so that your TV knows that there's a composite signal coming in. Okay, just another view. So there's my 5 volt DC that'll come in from the power supply, and the socket, which I've now gone and wired up, I can then plug into there. So basically the way it works is it's going to draw power from the 5 volt DC. From this 5 volt DC, as you saw earlier, I went and then soldered these two wires to the back of the PC board in order so that I can actually draw power from there through to the SCART connector, and there my connector is now complete. Not very pretty cable, but let's see if it works. Okay guys, it's the moment of truth. I've hooked it up to the trusty old MP1. You can see there the cable goes through. That's the power cable, and then my hacked and slashed RGB cable running there from the monitor socket through to the back of the SCART cable for my flat screen. And let me give some power, and it's switched on, and just have a look at that. For a lovely clear looking Amstrad CPC 464 picture. And this is the first Amstrad that I've actually managed to get up and running, so I am really chuffed. So I think keyboard needs to have a little bit of a clean. I don't even know how to load anything up on this Amstrad, but I'm really chuffed with that picture. I mean, it's absolutely crystal clear. Look at the colors. So I think it was definitely a success. So guys, give it a try yourselves. Really is quite an easy project, especially to those guys out there that love their Amstrads, because I can't see any other way of actually playing one of these things once you see how crystal clear that picture is. Okay, cheers from me.